What is up, everybody? This is RybackStun. We have returned to Marvel Heroes Test Center. It's a late video and it's a long video, but we're here with the Cable 52 review. Now, this was previewed by DGenTP on Twitch earlier today, as of recording, and some interesting stuff coming on, but we're here to showcase to you as much of the stuff as we possibly can in a relatively short amount of time, so it doesn't seem like there's a bunch of stuff that you have to worry about. But right off the bat, Hero Synergy System, I'm on the test avatar. It is still 1% critical chance per 25 levels, so that's pretty good. He's got 3 trees, Chrono Soldier, S.H.I.E.L.D, and Chosen Scion. He has a specialization tech much like Dr. Doom, and he has powers much like Dr. Doom that are locked behind specializations. So this one's a little bit better, considering that the powers are supposed to be for specialization as opposed to things that he should be able to use regardless. So we're going to go down each power as we have it, and then we'll take a look at each power as it affects... as the specialization affects it. So right off the bat, in Chrono Soldier, we've got Phase Magnum. It's energy damage, a rate of 3.1 per second. It's a basic ranged. Bam! Pretty cool, pretty nice noise. You can see the gun here for that one. It's like a Magnum or a revolver. It actually kind of looks like a grenade launcher. Next we have Plasma Machine Guns, energy damage twice per second, ongoing spirit cost of 19 per second. You can see those are different as well. Pretty neat stuff. Next we have Concussion Blast. Fires a plasma round that does energy damage. It stuns. It has a rate of fire of 1.3 per second and a spirit cost of 14.2. Boom! Notice the different gun. So, that blast that's happening is actually something from a power later on in the tree. I apologize. Next we have the Hyper Viper Beam. Or, excuse me, just the Viper Beam. Energy damage twice per second. You get a 25% damage shield while channeling. Its channel time is 1.5 seconds. Spirit cost is 19. Cooldown is 1.5 seconds. So you can see it can be moved, so I'll fire it one more time so that you guys can see that. And he goes as quickly as he can. Next we've got Pulse Rifle, fires a steady stream of blasts. It's energy damage, it has crit and brutal damage plus 20%. Rank, rate of fire is +1 per rank. Rate of fire currently is 4.0 per second. Spirit cost is 5.7. So this is the old Energy Pulse, and there's something that will make it much like Energy Pulse was back in the day. We've got Vortex Grenade, energy damage twice per second. It's got a slow 10 second area duration, and you can maintain up to 2 areas at any time. 1.5 attack speed, spirit cost is 17.1, so no longer are the days of stacking these things like crazy. You get 2, and that's it. But it's a pretty nice little effect. They actually amped it up a little bit, which is really cool. I like the little vortex that's there. And next we have a power called Particle Accelerator, which is not active until you have Ordnance Discipline on, so we'll take a look at that when we do that. Next is the S.H.I.E.L.D tree. First we have Scimitar Slice. Its mental damage. Its base damage is up to 25% to faraway targets. Attack speed is 2.1. Spirit cost is 9.5. So this is the Scimitar that everybody was begging for to make sure that Cable had a melee build. And, you know, it's here for those who want it. For those of us who don't, we can safely ignore it. It is pretty cool looking, though. Next, we have Quick Body Slide, which is his base level 1, no more roll. You have the body... That's not the right button. You have the body slide that you can do body slide stuff with. Now, it costs spirit for some stupid reason, but maybe that'll get fixed. Next, we have Scimitar Sweep. Its mental damage area cost is 14.2. Spirit cost is 14.2, excuse me. Cooldown is 8 seconds. And we saw it a little bit earlier by accident, but there it is. Next, we do have Swift Roll, which does mental damage. It has a knockdown duration of 1.2 seconds, and has a spirit cost of 9.1. So that's your old dodge roll that you can still get, but it's higher at the level. Next, we have Impaling Thrust. Focus all your telekinetic power into your Scimitar and thrust it forward at the Lance of Mental Force. Mental damage, attack speed 1.4, spirit cost 14.2. Boom, and you can do that multiple times. So, Foresight Bomb is his current signature. It does energy damage and mental damage. It has 1 second irresistible knockdown. The enemy gets taunted towards the bomb while it's active. The bomb timer is 3 seconds. It has a cooldown of 35 seconds. So, here's Cable. He pops forward, does the bomb. People go near it, and then boom, gigantic detonation blast, which is pretty cool. Next, we have Veteran Warrior. Passively, you and your allies gain accuracy. It gives you damage rating, hit rating, crit damage rating, movement speed. Mental power for 8 seconds. Mental power damage for 8 seconds when you hit with an energy power. Disabled while specialization is active. And you get ranged damage for 8 seconds when you hit with a melee power. Also disabled when a specialization is active. Its active ability is different. It's not your CC breaker. It's your vulnerability and weaken 10% for 5 seconds, which is kind of weird. It's got a 15 spirit cost. It's weird that it's 5 seconds and not 8, but I believe that may be changed down the line. We're not exactly sure. Scimitar Slam is another power that can only be activated while the Oksani-san Discipline specialization is active. We'll get to that when that happens. Last tree, which is chosen Scion, we have Techno-Organic Virus, which passively regens your health. You have a 10% damage negation, it gives you defense rating, and it gives you a regen when you die with an invulnerability of 2 seconds. Active effect or on revival, you get Brutal Strike rating, Brutal Damage rating, doubles your passive regeneration, you recover 50% of your missing spirit, you get a 2.5% attack speed buff, its buff duration is 6 seconds, and you need an 18-second cooldown. So that's pretty good to be able to restore half of your spirit every 18 seconds. So, and you get the buff duration for that, so that's pretty neat. Another passive well worth taking, another active that's well worth taking because it has a really good passive. Psychic Haze was what it was before. Mental damage twice per second. It's got an immobilize on it and a slow. Spirit cost is 14.2 seconds. 14.2, excuse me. So there you go, and you see the little stuff above their head. Next we have Mind Bullets. Focus your will into projectiles that detonate as small psionic shockwaves. Mental damage, attack speed is 2.9, spirit cost is 7.6. There are the bullets, which you can see coming out of his eyes. Let's see if we can get a little close up. There you go. Pretty neat. Next, we have Psychokinetic Berry, which has a new animation. Mental damage twice per second for 8 seconds. It has a slow. It weakens enemy projectiles that pass through it by 25%. 8-second duration, and you can maintain up to 2 of these areas, 19 spirit cost. So there you go. Pretty cool, neat looking thing. It's not the pillars that pop up. It's actually... it's kind of a warp thing. I apologize for that noise. That may happen a couple times. I forgot to turn something off. Anyway, next we have a passive Telekinetic Repulsion. It gives you dodge rating, tenacity, and projectile chance. When enemies enter melee range, they take energy damage that knocks them back with a 6-second cooldown. And its active effect is your immunity, crowd control immunity, for 3 seconds, and you have a spirit cost of 20 with a cooldown of 15 seconds. So... this is what that looks like, which is pretty cool. Next, we have Telepathic Illusion. It summons an illusion, taunts enemies while active. It's got a 12-second duration. Spirit cost 15. You can maintain up to 1 decoy at a time. The decoy will have 150% of your defense and health, which is probably increaseable. So next, we have Telekinetic Overload, which is only active when you have the Mental Discipline specialization active. So, Veteran Warrior gives you access to these 3 specializations. Ordnance Discipline, Oksani-san Discipline, and Mental Discipline. Ordnance Discipline is your gun. Your base health is increased by 5%. It unlocks your Particle Accelerator. You have Pulse Rifle, costs no spirit, and is considered a basic. Viper Beam becomes Hyper Viper Beam, doubling the damage shield, dealing 200% damage in a larger area and gaining a longer cooldown. Concussion Blast deals 200% energy damage and gains an 8-second cooldown. Foresight Bomb only deals energy damage and benefits from Particle Accelerator's damage bonus. Damage over time is removed from Psychic Haze and Psychokinetic Barrier. Spirit Recovery is removed from Techno-Organic Virus and disables Scimitar Sweep. So you'll have certain abilities that are deactivated in that aspect. And the Spirit Recovery from Techno-Organic Virus is knocked out. That's kind of interesting. We'll activate this to show you the power called Particle Accelerator. It does an energy explosion, energy damage twice per second for 3 seconds. You cannot affect the same target more than once at a time. It has 25% increased damage to Chrono Soldier powers for 8 seconds. It has a rate of fire of 1.3 and a spirit cost of 14.2. So that's your little damage there. You want to get that on multiple people. But then you also have how the Hyper Viper Beam looks, which is pretty nasty, and it has an increased cooldown. And you also get to see all the damage that's increased across the board because of Ordnance Discipline and anything else that's associated with that. And you'll see that Psychokinetic Barrier, Scimitar Sweep is deactivated because Ordnance is enabled. So, moving on to Oksani-san Discipline, it unlocks Scimitar Slam. You get 5% damage negated. Scimitar Slice has no spirit cost and is considered a basic. Swift Roll becomes Swift Lunge and gains a damage over time effect. Scimitar Sweep's cooldown is reduced when hitting enemies affected by Swift Lunge. Impaling Thrust gains 200% damage and an 8-second cooldown. Foresight Bomb only deals mental damage. Knockback effect is removed from Telekinetic Repulsion. Damage over time is removed from Vortex Grenade, Psychic Haze, and Psychokinetic Barrier, and Spirit Recovery is removed from Techno-Organic Virus. So looking at the power here, we have Scimitar Slam. This is the telekinetic power that everybody wants to see on Gene, but is currently on, what's his name? I think that's the power they want. Nope, I'm wrong. Sorry, this is a different power. Anyway, Scimitar Slam, mental damage, You dive with your Scimitar, excuse me. It's the next power. That's the Telekinetic Slam everybody wants. Mental damage plus 25% to Oksani Sun powers for 8 seconds. Spirit cost is 23.7, 8-second cooldown. Oh, that's neat. It's actually throws the Scimitar. That's pretty nice. Awesome. Next discipline we have is called Mental Discipline. It increases your base spirit by 5 seconds. It unlocks Telekinetic Overload. Mind Bullets has no spirit cost and is considered a basic. Telepathic Illusion becomes Psionic Illusion and can maintain up to 3 decoys and gains an ability to attack enemies. That's neat. Foresight Bomb only deals mental damage and benefits from Telekinetic Overload's damage bonus. Damage over time is reduced from Vortex Grenade. Spirit Recovery is moved from Techno-Organic Virus, and it disables Scimitar Sweep. So going into here, we'll show you the Telekinetic Overdrive, which does mental damage and has a knockdown duration of 3 seconds, 25% extra damage to Scion powers for 8 seconds. Spirit cost is 28.5, cooldown of 6 seconds. It's supposed to lift and drop those guys. I can't show that here in the controlled environment, obviously, but that is how that works. Now, one of the interesting things that I noticed about this is that they all disable Scimitar Sweep except for Oksani Sun. They all remove the the Spirit Recovery from Techno-Organic Virus, and they all remove some sort of damage over time from abilities that are not in that tree, which is pretty interesting, which means that Techno-Organic Virus, the missing spirit, is supposed to be used outside of specialization, which means that's a hybrid build that you want to deal with. So, there is that. Next thing we're going to show is called Grey Malkin. Signal the Celestial AI Professor aboard your orbital space station to bring the full brunt of its weapon systems to bear, devastating the area with the psionic bombs and a huge terraforming beam. It does energy damage twice per second. The terraforming beam can be directed using Veteran Warrior. Mental damage per bomb, duration in 15 seconds, 10-minute cooldown. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to drop the beam over here so you can see that going like that. You see the bombs everywhere. I just used Veteran Warrior to be able to move the beam from left to right and up and down. And it's a pretty neat little effect. If a boss moves around, you can say, hey buddy, I've got Veteran Warrior to be able to do this. And on top of that, you can deal regular damage on your own. So that is Cable. Cable's pretty sick. I imagine myself using a Chrono Soldier build because that's what I want to run, and that's what I've wanted to run from Cable since day one, but his mental build has been so much overpowering than Soldier, but I ended up having a pretty good Soldier build. I imagine myself being able to use the Soldier build to great effect here, so look forward to me doing that during some streams. That'll be something very fun to do, especially on patch day, which hopefully, I believe Cable's patch should be not this Friday, but next Friday, or Thursday, depending on when they choose to do the patch like they normally do. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did showcasing it to you. There's a lot of cool stuff coming with Cable. It's a longer video than normal, but that's because there was so much stuff to show. More videos as they come along. Remember to like and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and Tumblr at RybackStun. We're streaming again on Twitch, so check us out 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. PDT, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, so come check that out. We'll definitely be doing patch day streams as best as we possibly can. And that's it for me. So with that, this is RybackStun, signing out.